Put me up in that algorithm and holla at your girl. Ew. What's up, everybody? What's up? Today we are talking about Daredevil. Now, I know I'm a little late with this, but I'm jumping on it, and we're going to do 2 episodes this time. And, let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I may go live about it or just do my recaps like this. So let me know what y'all think. We're going to get into this. I am Moochie, and this is Moochilla's Review. So let's get into it, y'all.
On this week's episode of Daredevil Reborn.
So I know Lamont is doing this, but I started watching it because of him. And I've been watching B. Avery and Lamont do their recaps together. But this, I'm into it. The first episode, I was reluctant to watch it because the first fight scene in this was kind of like, how can I say it? I'll get to it, but let's get into it. This episode started off right away and it jumped into it with the fighting scenes and him being Daredevil. But what made me like question it was the first scene of this, but the first fight scene. Other than that, it was good. He's played Daredevil before, this guy, and I thought he did a good job last time, but I thought the fight scenes was much better in the first go around with Daredevil when it was on Netflix. That's my thoughts with it. But just with this first scene, other than that, they got better as it went along. Yeah, it got better as it went along. So the guy that's playing Matt Murdock is Charlie Cox, and he played Daredevil before, so he did a good job. Other than that, if you did watch the DC movie, Ben Affleck played him before, so yeah. So I like with this, he had his whole crew, and his best friend. I was surprised that they had like somebody get deleted in the first couple of minutes of this scene, so that was kind of crazy to me, but it changed his whole attitude. But with this scene, there was a lot of Batman-ish going on with this first fight scene. And that's the only fight scene I will really complain about, because it just looked like that when I saw it. It looked like they were dancing. And I don't even think it was Charlie Cox's fault with this. I think it was the other guy's fault that he was fighting with this. So that's where I was kind of like, okay. But other than that, it started off good, because I liked how they zeroed in also on the scene where he was losing his friend, and he could hear him take his last, he could hear his heart beating and that last thing, and that made him, I think, do the worst he's ever done. Meanwhile, we see Fisk is back, but he took a hiatus, and we'll get to that later. But he's coming back into the scene, and his wife is basically the one that is putting the battery in his back with this. So I like that. I like the fact that we were seeing stuff like that too. So that was kind of cool to me too. Now, as far as this goes, I thought that we're meeting him for the second time, but he's coming with a lot of baggage, and he's coming with a whole new bag with how he's gonna get his money. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anywho, meanwhile, he had this conversation that he had with him with Fisk goes and meets with Matt Murdock, but he knows that he's Daredevil. This is kind of, I'm gonna get to that later. I just feel like I don't like that everybody knows each other. Like nobody's secret identity is their secret identity here in this series. So that I kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But Fisk and him have this confrontation, and he has to sit down with him, and he tells him, "Look, yo, check this out. I'm about to run for mayor, and if I become mayor, you better not do none of this antics that you're doing with this Daredevil stuff." Now, once his friend got taken out, he retired. He stopped doing Daredevil. So I think by him doing what he did to that guy when they were on the roof, I think that's what made him not want to do that anymore. Because I think him losing his homeboy, that did something to him. It really did. But I like once that did something to him, that kind of like rubbed him the wrong way. But other than that, we see him. He has his assistants. He also has, I don't know if y'all know Michael Gandolfini, James Gandolfini's son from The Sopranos. His son is in this. And I thought, this is a good look for him. Now we're gonna see him. He's been in a couple of things. He was in 40 Deuce. He was in the Sopranos movie. And word is there might be even a spinoff with that. So I got my eyes open with that, y'all. What do y'all think about that? But this conversation was necessary, but I didn't like the fact of that. Now, moving on to Optics, episode 2. This started off with a bang, y'all. This fight scene was crazy. And then we get introduced to a new character. Well, he's not really a new character in the Marvel scene, because if you watch Punisher, he was in this, and that was his. I might be putting on my track shoes too far, but this fight scene was crazy, and we meet another vigilante here. But at this time, we don't know this, so yeah, I did put on my track shoes. But like I said, a lot of people done seen this already. But we see that it's Hector Ayala. This fight scene was crazy because the person that he was fighting, they were police officers, but they never identified themselves. So he don't know that. But he thought, it was somebody that needed help. This went crazy. Dude gets smashed by the train. Then he identifies himself. And the person that he was fighting with is Powell. And if y'all know Powell, if y'all follow me with Mayor Kingstown, he's Robert in Mayor Kingstown. So you know how when you know people, you start getting more interested in it. This was a good fight scene too. I want to say so far, out of all of the episodes I watched so far, this episode had the best fight scenes. And that's why I gave the first one a pass. Because that first one, I told you, like I said, it was Batman-ish. But other than that, this one was cool. But he gets arrested. Fitz becomes the mayor. So now he's got his itinerary. When he went to meet with Matt Murdock, he was not mayor yet, but he was letting him know, look, I'm about to run for mayor. I'm gonna lock this down. And if I win, I better not see this Daredevil person again. Because he knows who he is. And like I said before, that's the only thing that really bothered me with that. But so far, like I said, we're getting to know all of these characters. I like the fact that when he went to go check for Hector Ayala, he was talking in the hallway with another attorney, and he heard him in the interrogation room getting beat up by the cops. He let them, they left once they saw him coming. So he went in there and talked to him, and he's letting him know he wants to be his attorney. So I think this is going to be some type of pro bono thing, because I don't even think that Hector could afford an attorney. So we see this. Look at how his face was messed up. Then we see Fisk, basically calling shots here, getting a sinkhole fill on the spot while he's waiting in traffic. So he's showing you like he's gonna be the mayor that gets it done. It was a great photo op, and there was a lot of people there, so it's gonna be all over social media. So this is gonna even build it up even more. Moving on. So after that, he took on a new partner with his law firm. He took on a new partner with his law firm. And they think this is like not a good idea that he takes on this case because basically he's going to be battling it out with the police department. We don't want the police as our enemies. This is what he's saying. But he's like, no, this guy is innocent. They didn't identify themselves. They're basically, he's innocent and I believe him. And you know how he figured that out? When he interviewed him in the interviewing room, Matt Murdock can heal everything. And from this point, I'm like, he hears the truth in his voice, so he's gonna defend him. And I like that they showed that. Now, BB is a blogger, and Daniel brings her in where she gets 5 minutes with the mayor. But I think he wanted to see her. We're going to see how this relationship works out. And he's going to use her to his advantage until she gets too nosy. That's my opinion. What y'all think? Let me know. Moving on. Now, as far as this goes, she had her books. And these two people that it's gonna look, everybody's gonna be connected here. And I like the way they're showing this. It's like, how can I explain it? You know what it's like to me? It's like somebody sewing a fabric, like an outfit, a garment. We're seeing everything get put together. We're seeing all the pieces get put in place. So I know from this point, we're gonna see how everything is gonna be intertwined as far as these characters. And Heather is a psychologist where she's talking to people, but I'm kind of like with this whole thing with her going to meet up with her taking on this new client. I don't know who this guy is, but I think he's gonna be a problem too, and we will see more of him to come too. Okay, moving on. Yeah, we're gonna see more of him to come. This character. And if you don't know who this is at the top, this was the mayor's assistant. So basically, we're seeing things happen. But at this time when I was watching it, I was like, what he doing there? And it will click together later. So now Fisk he comes to the police officer's funeral, the one that got hit by the train. And he basically tells him, look, um, I'm mayor now, but the commissioner is like, look, you're gonna be mayor for less than the person who was mayor about for the shortest time. He gives him a little history lesson with that. So he says, if it's up to me, you're not gonna be the mayor too long. I'm gonna go a step further. He even came to his office. And told him, look, I'm not doing this. So he's trying to hold it down with that, but I think he's gonna have second thoughts with that because when he comes there, he got pictures of his family. And he letting them know, look, I can get to you. Don't forget what type of person I am. And now he's gonna stay on. So now he got the police in his pocket, but for how long? That's my thoughts. What y'all think? Moving on. Now, you know what pissed me off with this part? We got Fisk in here and his wife there with her for therapy. And he's really acting like he's the victim, y'all. Like, I was assaulted by a vigilante and da 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 da. I'm like, really? So you traumatized? You traumatized, Fisk? Come on now. Come on now. you know darn well you ain't traumatized. But we're gonna see how this goes. But it looked like with me, with the Fist family, the wife is wearing the pants. But she do know how to activate him. She knows how to put that battery in his back and make him really mean business. So she speaks into her man. Moving on. Okay. So now with this episode, once I seen this, I said, well, when the heck we gonna see Daredevil? When the heck we gonna see Daredevil? All we seeing right now is a whole different thing. I thought this was Daredevil, and here it is. We seeing
Matt Murdock, attorney at law.
hey, we supposed to be watching Daredevil. I'm like, we seeing him do all his court stuff. You know, Daredevil, he don't put that up on the shelf. So basically, to me, once his homeboy got taken out, these first 2 episodes was this whole thing.
Matt Murdock, attorney at law.
And I could get it. So you know he gets arraigned. He gets arraigned. And they're like, nope, he can't get no bail. You got the police there. You know, usually this really happens in New York when usually a cop get pow-powed or taken out. They will come near the whole force and stand up to make sure this dude don't get bail. So this was believable to me. And not only that, the police department done brought in a ringer. They done brought in a ringer to handle this case. And he's supposed to be handling this. So I just like, okay, how is this gonna play out? Is this gonna be a case that Matt Murdock could really fight? You know, so that's where I was with that. Moving on. Now he finds out that he's the White Tiger because when they go to the house, they do a whole when they go to the house, he got his police investigator. And once his police investigator comes, he finds that whole costume. And when he finds that costume, he like, well, what, he gotta go back and tell Matt. He gotta go back and tell Matt that he's the White Tiger. And his wife was saying it the whole time. He's not the same person I'm married. He's not the same person I'm married. So she obviously knows, but what can she do? Now he goes back and interviews him, let him know, like, yo, you didn't tell me the truth. You didn't tell me everything. We're going to have a problem. You got to let me know everything so I know how to win this case. And he basically does. He comes clean and they go through with this. So now we're going to see how this pans out and how he's going to work this out. I wanted to let y'all know, did y'all know, I don't know if y'all watched The Incredible Hulk back in the day. There was an episode on there, the Incredible Hulk in the 80s, where it's called The Trial of the Incredible Hulk. This is the Hulk with Bill Bixby. This is a fun fact I just wanted to throw out there. Daredevil was in one of those episodes. Y'all want to see how the Daredevil character looked back in the day? He looked bananas. It was played by Rex Smith. He was a singer back in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, and he played the Daredevil. Yo, look at his costume, yo. It looked like he got nunchucks, but it's just his cane that he uses. But look at how his costume looks. It looks bananas, y'all. Moving on. Look at his costume. It looks crazy, y'all. But look at the next. This was the best fight scene, and this was the last fight scene. He found his witness, the other guy that was there, and this is the only person that could prove that the White Tiger, aka the White Tiger, Hector Ayala, this guy is the only person that could prove this, and this is Nikki Torres. This was Powell's confidential informant, and they was roughing him up trying to get some information. And dude is just trying to make some money because he can't get a job because he on that age, okay? So I want to see how this turns out. Like I said, the first 2 episodes was Matt Murdock, attorney at law. But other than that, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for the build up. I want to see how this turns out. I think so far, like I said, the first two episodes was Matt Murdock, attorney at law. But other than that, I want to see how this pans out. 2 of the best fight scenes that I've seen in this, especially with Powell and Matt Murdock. They was getting ready to take him out, but he handled his business and he gave them a warning, like, don't do this. He gave them a warning before he put a beating on them. Okay. So I want y'all to let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you are finding this for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. I want to thank y'all for coming out. Holla at your girl. Later.
Put me up in that algorithm and holla at your girl.